In this mini lecture, we're going to talk about the problem-solution organizational pattern for persuasive speech. So when should you use a problem solution? Well, this organizational pattern works well for topics involving social issues, current events, or any problem-oriented topics. So let's take a look at some examples. We could say pennies cost too much to manufacture and should be abolished. In this particular example, the problem is that pennies cost too much to manufacture, and your solution is that pennies should be abolished. We need to get rid of them. Textbook prices are too high, so rent your textbooks. Again, the problem, textbook prices are too high, and your solution that you're proposing is that students rent their textbooks as a way to save money. Buying lunch out costs too much, so pack your own lunch. Problem, lunch is expensive. Solution, pack your own lunch. Clothing is too expensive, so shop at a thrift shop. Again, problem, clothing is just expensive. Possible solution, shop at a thrift shop, or at least maybe for some items. So let's take one of these and break it down a little bit further. Here we have the same problem, but we can offer different solutions, and this is what makes this speech persuasive. That the solution, there could be obviously more than one solution to any problem. We know that as we go through life, that there are many ways to solve different problems. So we could say the cost to manufacture a penny costs more than 1 cent, so the penny should be abolished. That's it, we're getting rid of it. Now some might say, well, that's a bit extreme. I like pennies, or what do we do with tax? So we could keep the same problem. The cost to manufacture a penny costs more than 1 cent. Different solution though. So the material used to manufacture a penny should be changed from mostly zinc to steel. This would be a solution that's a little bit different from the first example. And just as an aside, during World War II, we actually did use steel to manufacture pennies. And if you did some research, you would find that there are many variations in the way that we have gone about manufacturing our coins through the years. And so that would be information that you would want to bring to your speech. So same problem, different solutions. And we could certainly look at that for a variety of different topics. Again, there's not only one solution to a problem. If you are using, and if it makes sense for you to use a problem-solution organization pattern, this speech is going to explain a problem. You need to convince us that some problem does exist. And then you're going to give us a detailed plan of how the solution will reduce or eliminate the problem. If your solution doesn't reduce or eliminate the problem, then it's not a viable solution. So with this, you would have as the body of your speech basically 2 main points. You're going to describe the problem, and you're going to have many subpoints under this. So it's going to be very important to use transitions within your main point, to use internal summaries or internal previews to reinforce your message to the audience. You need to convince the audience that the problem needs solving. And then you're going to have a proposed solution to the problem. Again, there could be numerous solutions. You are just going to be offering one solution. You're going to say that, well, this is the best solution. And then, if necessary, you want to refute any objections to your possible solution. It's not always necessary to do that, but depending on the topic, it may be a good idea to look at that. If with our penny example, if we were saying, to completely abolish the penny, we could mention that, yes, some people have proposed that we just use different materials to make it cheaper. But again, who needs pennies? All it does is hold up the line at the grocery store. So as I said, the problem is going to be your first main point. You need to develop the problem to make it real to us on both an intellectual and emotional level. Remember, persuasion is trying to engage both our heads and our hearts. You want to have solid information and also some stories or anecdotes to help the audience connect to your problem. Logos, ethos, pathos, all of those things are going to be interspersed throughout your speech. Your second main point is going to be the solution. This is the part of the speech where you advocate for the audience to take some action or for there to be a change in a law or a policy. You're going to outline the plan. Remember, you want to keep this simple. You want to keep this focused. If you are saying that, we need to do stuff to help the environment, and your solution is to recycle, to change air quality standards, to do 3 other things, that is way too broad. You need to narrow that topic down. So your solution is going to be the plan, and then evidence that the plan will reduce or eliminate the problem. You're going to look at some expert testimony. What kind of sources do you have? What kind of information do you have to back up your claim that the solution is going to work? Maybe you have, maybe there was a pilot program that was done somewhere. Maybe you have some testimony from some people. Maybe it might even be yourself. Now remember, you cannot use yourself as a source, but that could go to establish why a possible solution could work, your own personal experience with something. Some special considerations. As I said before, you're going to have numerous subpoints under your problem and then under your solution. So you're going to need to make sure to use internal summaries and previews to keep the audience focused. Your audience may be unaware of the existence of your problem, so be sure to provide a definition and some detailed background information. Going back to our example of pennies, I'm not sure how many people have really thought about what it costs to manufacture a penny. If you don't establish a clear problem, the fact that you offer a solution is absolutely meaningless. Now, there is a slight variation you can use with the problem solution. And you can have kind of a third main point that would be between the problem and the solution, and this is called the cause. So we identify that there's a problem. Then we say, here's the reason why there's a problem. This is the cause of the problem, and then we offer solutions. If you watch, and I highly, of course, recommend that you watch the Veterans Awareness speech that is contained in this module, that uses a problem, cause, solution pattern, and you can absolutely identify that as you listen to the speech. Okay, I'm going to get a little mundane and monotonous here. Overall organization. Your introduction and conclusion is going to contain all of the same parts as it did in the informative speech. Attention getter, get our attention somehow. Help us as an audience figure out why we should care about this topic. WIFM, what's in it for me? Audience relevance. Credibility. Why are you credible to talk about this topic? Why do you care about this topic? And finally, be sure to clearly preview the body of your speech so that we as a listener understand what we're going to be listening for throughout your speech. Let's turn to that conclusion. You're going to summarize. When you're all done, you're going to let us know that you're coming to the end. You're going to provide a nice summary of what you just talked about. Some call to action. What do you want us to do? Think, feel, believe as a result of listening to your speech. And finally, a memorable closer. You're going to something to end the speech with so that we know that you've truly come to the end. And again, tying that memorable closer back to your attention getter is an effective strategy. Okay, overall organization, transitions, internal summaries, oral citations, those all need to be present in the persuasive speech regardless of your organizational pattern. And again, to reinforce this, logos, ethos, pathos, credibility of your information, credibility as you as a speaker, and trying to establish an emotional connection between your audience and your topic. And this is very effective if you use stories, anecdotes, examples, connecting to the audience's heart. And that is the problem solution organization pattern.